morning, ladies and gentlemen. Ron Wallace here with Ballin' Down South Sports Network, here with another episode of the interview. My next guest is a graduate of Theodore High School. He played quarterback at Samford University in Alabama. But before leaving that, he was the all-time leading passer. He's coached on the college level. And he came back down to coach back at his alma mater, Theodore, coached over at Davidson and Vicar High School. And now at his new job, let me introduce you to none other than head football coach at Satsuma. How you doing today, Coach?
How's it going this morning, Ron?
Ladies and
I'm
gentlemen,
doing
we
well,
got
man.
Raymond Nelson, Satsuma Gators. We came over there last season. You guys had a pretty good season. I know you guys wanted to do pretty good, but before we get into football, how's the family doing during the COVID situation, Coach?
Everyone's fine, man. It's trying times for everyone, but we've managed to keep everything together, and the kids and the family's doing well.
Well, that's pretty good. So, Coach, the people that do not know you, they that you're from this area, talk a little bit about your playing days in high school, then going off to college, and then getting into the coaching realm.
Yeah, obviously I'm from the Mobile area. Grew up in Theodore. Played at Theodore High School. Quarterback there. After leaving Theodore, graduating in 2001, I went off to Samford University in Birmingham, Alabama. I was luckily blessed to have an opportunity to play quarterback at the next level. Um, Started since my sophomore year up there. Played a lot as a true freshman, um, and just had 4 great, wonderful years up there at Samford University. And immediately after that, I came back and started coaching high school football. I came back to my alma mater, Theodore, and gave back. Was blessed to have coaches that were still there, that was around when I was a player, and gave me an opportunity to help out and mentored me a little bit as a coach, as a young coach. So the Mobile area has been great to me, and I'm thankful for the opportunity.
So you had stints Theodore Davidson and at Vicar High School, some heavy hitter, pretty good programs throughout history, especially down here in the South with football. How was it playing quarterback in college? Because that's a key position. You practically are the leader of the team at that point on the offense.
Mm-hmm.
How was it playing college football?
I mean, I think any former college athlete will tell you it's difficult, especially at the times where we were playing, when you still had 2-a-days, 3-a-days. You still had to manage your schoolwork, your coursework, and Sanford is, they're very high on academics, so that made it extremely tough. And you just had to be a great manager of time. Any former college athlete that'll tell you, scholarship athlete, tell you, man, to be successful in any part of athletics is tough, being a collegiate athlete. But at the quarterback position, you just really got to be mindful, because so many people are looking at you and looking up to you. So you got to be mindful of what you're doing, how you carry yourself on campus, as well as. So I think that's the biggest thing for a quarterback position at the collegiate level, is you got to be mindful of your teammates really looking up to you in the lows a little bit more, because you're a true extension of the coaching staff. So you got to make sure you understand the playbook, understand the ins and outs of the offense, and make sure you're really a student of the game.
And you saying student of the game, and being being a student athlete, nobody everybody pretty much know that's been a student athlete. It's not easy. Being getting your
No,
books,
no.
and you got to go to practice. Then you're playing games. How important was it to you to make sure you got your education, because you do have a master's degree? Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Well, I think that part was a no-brainer. When my parents sent me off to college, it was pretty much understood you wasn't coming back home until you earned some type of degree. So, football was really just a way to get me into school. But the mentality my mom and dad had, I mean, it was a given that you was going to have to earn a degree some way, somehow. So I figured if I was going to be there, being a student athlete, probably was try to shoot for the stars and make the most of it, because I knew I couldn't come home without a degree.
Wow, that's good. A lot of kids nowadays they take the their GPA for granted when they're coming out of high school, but they don't understand
Yes,
those
sir.
college coaches. They use that also with their ACT score. So what is your coaching philosophy? I know 6-4 overall last season, 3-3 in the region. You had some pretty good players. Talk about what's your coaching philosophy.
Well, the overall philosophy for the kids is fast, fun, physical. The game of football, first and foremost, has to be a physical game. You got to be able to tackle, you got to be able to block, you got to be able to try to stop the run and be able to run the ball when you want to run it. Fast, you got to be able to play fast. And to me, fast is not 4.3, 4.4 speed. Fast is being able to play at a fast level, high level, move around, have a sense of urgency when you're on the field. And then the last thing is fun. I think where we are now with kids and with them having so many other options outside of playing high school sports, you got to make it fun. I mean, they got so many other things they could be doing with their time that you got to make it fun and make it where it's engaging to them and they don't feel left out. And there's pressure. There's pressure on us as coaches, assistant coaches, and the guys that are on the field. They feel to make it fun. We got to make it engaging, not just for the guys that play on Friday nights, but also those scout team guys that come out there and commit so much time to you throughout the week as well.
Well, I can tell you this. Last season, I know you lost your quarterback went to transferred to another school. But who's trying to fill his shoes coming into this upcoming season?
Well, we have 8 guys returning offensively. We'd had now, but not, right now we're standing with 8 guys returning starters offensively, and we got right at 8 guys defensively as well. We have 3 young men that are more than capable and that we're extremely confident in, as well as manning that quarterback position. But I think the key point for us is just understanding of having they just got to manage the game. We're not putting anything on that particular position or that particular kid that he can't overcome. His job is just to distribute the football, make sure we're lined up and ready to play, and it's up to the other kids that have been playing for the last 2 or 3 years to carry the team. And that's kind of how we're approaching that decision on who's going to be quarterback for us. But we're more than confident in the young men we have on our campus to play that position.
Now you got some some returning starters, Andrew Bettis, Markel
Yes, sir.
Richardson. Talk a little bit about those two guys, starting with Bettis.
Well, Andrew obviously was 1,000-yard rusher last year. And he was a guy that wasn't even a full-time back. And you know from covering our game last year, we like to throw the ball as well. So he's a guy that I think could be a little bit more of a focal point for us offensively. So we expect him to be back at that 1,000, 1,200-yard rushing yardage mark. But he's an explosive athlete, extremely hard worker. He's one of the few young men that is consistently one of the first ones in the locker room. He's a guy that he's going to text you on the weekend, want to know, hey, coach, is there any way you're coming back up to the school this week? I want to get an extra lift in. So he's a hard worker. I mean, a great kid, really positive, come from a great home. And we expect some big things on both sides of the football from him this year.
Right.
Markel is an extremely rangy athlete. You asked about Markel Richardson. He's one of our taller receivers. He's a 6'3" kid, extremely rangy, great at playing the deep ball, but he's also a kid that's more explosive this year from having a hard off season in the weight room. He's a guy we think we
Right.
can throw some shorter passing concepts to, and him make some big gains out of it as well.
Now, what any newcomers coming up on your team? Some more guys you're gonna have stepping up.
Not necessarily newcomers that we got some guys that have came out at the beginning of the summer that's been really surprising to us that wasn't part of the team last year. But I think one guy that doesn't really get a lot of comments is the guy that plays opposite of Markel, and that's Braden Coulter. He's another 6'3" receiver senior. He's a 30 ACT kid. He's extremely intelligent, and he's the guy we really like to move around a lot in our formations just because he's such a smart kid, and he has some great hands and run great routes.
All right. Well, I can tell you this: who you guys got coming up on the schedule?
Well, we open up the season right now with Central. It's one of our non-region opponents this year, and then into that we go straight into region play.
Oh wow! Now, what do you expect out of a kid? If they want to come play for your program, uh, I know you expect them to play hard. Expect them to get their lesson. But what do you expect out of those guys?
Well, we use football as a life skill. We want these guys to understand that when you commit to this, it's just like you coming to a job, and not necessarily that pressure on it, but just make sure they have communication skills. If there's a reason that you possibly can't be there or something came up, just communicate it to us. So we just tell the kids, man, if you want to try it out, just come and try it out. We as coaches, the coaching staff, we're not going to sit there. We're not going to degrade you. We're not going to talk down on you. We're there to build you up, and we want to make it fun for you, any way, form, or fashion. If there's a kid that commits to our program, especially with the numbers we have, we think it's our duty to try to get them on the field within a 2-year period. I don't care what their experience is in football, but if they've been a part of our program for at least 2 years, we got to find a way to reward that kid and get that kid on the field, whether it's special teams or some type of role where he feels wanted, he feels included, he feels like his time is well invested. So And that's kind of our motto for the kids that are in the hallway that we try to recruit to come out. Just give us a chance. And we lost out on that, and all high schools lost out this year. We're not having a spring, but that's really our time where we challenge ourselves as coaches and say, hey, let's find two kids apiece. Every position group, find two kids that you can recruit out the hallway and see if you can just get them to come out and try spring. And if they make it through spring, great. If they want to come back in the summertime, that's a bonus for us as a program. But if not, at least you try to give that kid a chance, as well as that kid obviously took an opportunity to try to come out and do something different.
So how have your guys been taking, dealing with the COVID situation, all the disinfecting in the weight room and all that stuff? So and what are some of the guidelines you guys set up over there at Satsuma?
Well, the first day, man, the guys came in. They were fired up. They was ready to go. I think we haven't been able to see these guys face to face in 9 weeks at that time. So that very first day, we had great guidelines in place. We as a coaching staff that was put in place by our school system and our athletic directors and administration at Satsuma. We had all these guidelines in place. And the first day, man, we get there, we walk through it obviously on a Sunday as a coaching staff before that Monday's first practice or first gathering as a team. And we get there and we look out there in the athletic parking lot, and you got kids that have now parked their trucks and start getting out of their trucks, and they're less than 6 feet. So you sitting there, you got to blow your whistle and get out there and say, guys, I know you're excited, but we're starting the first day off on the wrong foot. But we do the thermal scan. We scan them for temperature, make sure we check their temperatures every day. And obviously, if they're 100.4 or higher, they can't come inside the facility. So we catch them on the outside of our facility. We thermal scan. If they pass the thermal scan, they now move to the next station, which is a questionnaire. The So that questionnaire consists of maybe 13 questions. Obviously, if we get any red flags there, we send them home again. But if they pass that, now they're able to go into the next phase, which really would just be grabbing their cleats. And we don't let them all in the locker room at one time. They're able to go in, grab the cleats, whatever they need for that day, and then we'll get to work from there. But we do a great job sanitizing um, any part of the facility we use, whether it's on the field, in the weight room, or when we do board talk and potentially use a classroom, we sanitize that as well.
Now, has any of your kids got any offers? Juniors, seniors coming up this season, got any offers from any colleges?
Um, the two, Andrew and Markel, have, but we expect many more to receive offers from this junior class, just turned senior class, just due to the high ACT, just being qualifiers, and also having the ability to play football at the next level. I'm truly amazed that Braden Coulter, the receiver opposite of Markel Richardson, does not have offers. It's amazing, a kid that his skill set, his size, and more importantly his intelligence is not receiving any offers.
Well, if you had a kid that's going into their senior year in high school, they last year playing, getting ready to go off to play at that next level, what would you tell that kid?
I encourage him. We have a running back from this past season, Josh Wilson, who's going down to Louisiana to play football. And I encourage him. I say, man, challenge yourself to come back with a degree. Everybody around you, everybody wants, hey, get on the field early playing time. That's one thing you hear about kids. Get in the weight room, get bigger, stronger, faster. Well, I mean, how many times do people challenge kids to come back with a degree?
Right.
Because he could easily go down there, be the starting running back, and get injured and never start again. I say he could easily go down there, get bigger, stronger, faster, and they recruit a kid next year that's as big, as strong, as fast as what he is right now. So I challenge him just like I did the other day when he came by the facility and talked to me. Just make sure you come back with a degree. That's something nobody can take away, and that has no competition with anybody else that's going to be on that campus with you. That's between you and yourself. So that's a self-discipline. Just challenge yourself to come back with a degree, man.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Satsuma head football coach Ramon Nelson. Thank you for coming on the network, coach.
Thank you, Ron, for having us.
It doesn't get much better than this. Spin to